Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at my repainted Hugh Jackman Wolverine by Marvel Legends. Now this guy, I have to say, is probably one of my favorite figures in the collection, and it's just really good. Hasbro did a fantastic job with this. Basically, all I did was kind of bring out some of the details that Hasbro had already put on here. If you take a close look at it, or if you just take a glance at it, I should say, it doesn't really look like I did all that much to it. I repainted the pants, I actually replaced the boots. The boots are actually from the first Old Man Logan figure, and I darkened them up and dirtied them up a little bit. But I just gave the face a wash, and I brought out some of the details on the torso. But I just think that the figure could have been just juiced up a little bit in terms of paint, so that's basically what I did. But I think Hasbro did a fantastic job. For some reason, when I record this figure, he kind of looks like he's got dark spots on his face. In person, the paint job doesn't look that heavy-handed. You can take a closer look at that. I pretty much just gave it a wash with a darker skin tone. I don't know why it comes across so dark on camera. And I also touched up the beard a little bit to follow the sculpt a little bit better. And I do think it looks a lot better. Gave him some of that wash on the chest. I dirtied up his flannel and also his tank top there, because this figure is supposed to be based off the scene where he just blew up that helicopter. And if you take a look at that specific scene in X-Men Origins Wolverine, he's pretty mudded up in that scene. He's pretty dirty. The back, I didn't go too heavy with it because the front is supposed to look more like this kind of like acid wash type of thing. If you look at the pants, and there is actually a little bit of mud on there too, but in the actual movie, you can see that he's wearing the type of pants that kind of have like the highlights on the front of the thighs and stuff, that kind of like stone washed or acid washed, whatever it's called. So I basically just repainted that. I repainted the whole pants to be the base color that it originally was, and then I kind of redid the highlights myself because before it was kind of like digital looking. You can see some of the original pattern underneath. I didn't completely cover the original just because it wasn't necessary. But I did give it a little bit more mud, and I did dirty up the boots some. But the jacket is where it really shines. The jacket was completely repainted. The original color that was used here was a bit more of a caramel color. It was a little bit more saturated. I used a nutmeg, which is a little bit less saturated, and also I went over it with these this light brown dry brushing. And I think that makes it look pretty good. He's also got the skin tone wash on his hands. I didn't actually paint the fisted hands he comes with. Those are actually still in the package because I just didn't find it necessary. He's going to be standing like this for the time being. But I think that these boots actually really help. I mentioned it in a previous video that they're actually a little bit small, but the original boots that he came with are just not very good in my opinion. I swapped them and put them onto this Old Man Logan just for now. And you can see that that's the original color. See, they don't really match, so I had to paint these to match this boot. And here's a quick size comparison to see them. Comic Wolverine with Hugh Jackman. It's pretty insane difference, but it is what it is. And since this is really just kind of bringing out the details, there's not really any worry of... Actually, his ankles don't really move, do they? There's not a big issue on paint rub, because, I mean, I was just kind of dirtying up what's already there. The jacket is the only thing that's completely repainted. I mean, the color that I used isn't very different from the base color. It's just, you can see that's the original color. I basically just wanted the a little less saturated. So no paint rub to worry about here. Very happy with how this guy turned out. If you'd like to see how he looks compared to some other customs that I've done, here he is compared to Thor: The Dark World Thor. This guy's not done yet because I still have to work on his head a little bit, but I completely redid the details here and also gave him a new cape. I'm still not a fan of how tall this Thor is, but he's got such a good sculpt that I thought I'd bring it out with some paint. But there he is compared to Thor. Here he is compared to my Winter Soldier Captain America. Swapped out the head and also gave him the shield with the magnet on the back. This is pretty much the size of most Captain America figures. Obviously from Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, Civil War, the first 10 years. This is pretty much the general size of that Captain America. I'm not entirely sure if it's around the same height as the Infinity War, but I know that the Endgame is definitely a little bit shorter. So this is your general kind of Captain America height for your Hugh Jackman Wolverine. And bringing it in again, here's your comic book Wolverine. Here he is compared to the unused Civil War suit. I got to do a video on this guy because I think this is definitely my favorite custom, other than maybe my Mysterio. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and check it out. But this figure is absolutely fantastic. I want to get another one, just have the original version in the collection too, but I love this suit so much. Give you an idea of what he looks like compared to some imports. Here he is compared to your SH Figuarts Avengers 1 cap. Here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Endgame Iron Man. He's still standing like this because for some reason I just like a cocky Iron Man. Kind of reminds me of the Superior Iron Man run. Anyway, here he is compared to one last one, your SHF. Actually, you know what? We're going to use this one instead because I just did a video on this guy. It's still being uploaded to YouTube currently, but your SHF Homecoming Spider-Man. As you can see, he doesn't really work with imports. Spider-Man, I mean, you could really get any character to work with Spider-Man because Spider-Man's height is kind of like fluid, you know? You can get any character to kind of work with Spider-Man, but this guy's pretty tall just because of Hugh Jackman being tall, but also in like Marvel Legends, he's pretty tall, so I mean, I would say this is accurate. He's 6 foot and he's 6'3", I believe, so it's not bad. But I mean, just it's a little bit jarring to see Wolverine so tall. But I think that's pretty much it, guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and of course hit that notification bell. And until next time, true believers.